to the Living Well with the Village in Howard podcast. Today we will talk about gardening. A 2023 report indicated that 55% of American households are engaged in gardening. Gardening is fun and gardening is good for you. Research has shown that gardening can have real benefits for your mind and body. The benefits include stress reduction, improved diet, increased physical activity, and connection to nature. Digging holes, shoveling mulch, pulling weeds, and raking leaves, and lugging around a watering can give you a whole body workout. One study of older adults found that, compared with those who don't exercise, people who garden has one of their main physical activities had lower rates of heart attack, stroke, diabetes, high cholesterol, and high blood pressure. Some studies report that working in a garden lowers people's anxiety and depression. Community gardens here in Howard County, Maryland, have helped people build social connections and combat loneliness. When gardeners give away seeds or exchange plants, they make new friends. So today, Mark and I have invited two members of the village in Howard, Fran Dummett and Cathy Latham, to tell us about their favorite hobby, gardening. Fran and Cathy will describe to us when they became interested in gardening, the Master Gardeners program, the rain gardens, the plants in their gardens, and the benefits they have noticed from those working in their gardens. So let's welcome Cathy and Fran.
Hi, folks.
Hi. Good to see you.
So let's start at the beginning. So how did you come to be a gardener, and how did that work out? Fran?
All right, sure. I guess it started first with my grandfather, believe it or not. He's from Sicily, and he had a garden in the back of his house in New Jersey. Then it went to my father. My father would take all of our leaves from our house in the back of the yard, take them away, believe it or not, and cultivated moss. All right. And that was like his thing. He did herb gardens, and he did, like you said, a community garden. He loved that. Then it went to my mom. After my father passed, she went and lived in Bizzuto condominiums, and she was on the committee for gardening. And she would say, this is where the shrubs go. And she loved telling people where they should go. And she really did a great job. My brother inherited also his love of gardening, but his was amazing because he was artistic. So all of his plants would go like 1 week, this color would be, the next week, the next week, the next, and they were different sizes. So that is great. So it then came to me. What happened to me? When I moved to Oakland Mills in Columbia, we had a bunch of families who had townhouses, and we loved gardening in our backyard because we had some woods. We were right behind the Talbot Springs pool. And we had, what did we have? We had hosta, and we had impatiens. Of course, there were no deer then, so we were able to grow them. So that's how I got influenced by gardening, and I love it right now. Thanks for asking.
How about Cathy?
Well, I'm from the Midwest, wide open spaces everywhere, and the whole area is focused on growing things, of course, because they're all farmers, and so corn and soybeans, and so it was all about the soil and the weather and the climate. And I remember growing up with that whole idea. And when I was in second grade, first communion time for second graders, and we had no flowers in our yard at all. And so my mom went to her Aunt Hannah, who was very elderly, but she was a gardener, and she had tulips. Every spring she had tulips. And so I asked her if I could have some tulips to carry down the aisle, which she allowed for. Well, so I would ask my mom, how come we can't plant those? Well, we had all kinds of wildlife around where we lived. I don't remember any deer either, Fran, but rabbits particularly, and they'd eat the bulbs, and they'd eat all kinds of plants.
They're into everything.
They're into everything. And
I mean, deer are worse. Don't get me wrong. But
rabbits are so down cute. Some babies were out eating the birdseed, and I just couldn't even shun them away from there. It was so damn cute earlier this year. Anyway, I didn't do too much. I didn't do anything with gardening and during that time of my life, but I really lived, we had a lake in front of us and a lake behind us, and then woods all around the lake. And I didn't even realize it until I was really thinking about what I would talk about today and how much nature and climate and what the weather was going to be like tomorrow and how people were going to be affected by it and were they going to be able to get their groceries, or were they going to get their gas or oil, which my dad delivered to the farmers in the winter, 30 below temperatures in those days. So I had that, always had that presence of weather and climate around me. I moved out here then when we had a couple of kids and that were just starting elementary school, and bought a house in Thunder Hill, and there was a couple of little gardens there. And I thought, oh, I'm going to have a vegetable garden and I'm going to have flowers. And so that started it. And then from there, it just grew and grew and grew. And maybe I'll talk a little bit about the Master Garden Program and a little few questions on from now. But up until that time, that I got involved with them, I was growing my tomatoes and my, carrots.
In your backyard or in a community plot? Okay.
In my backyard. I think I did the community garden one year, but I had enough of my own. I didn't need a whole big garden. I just needed little areas. Yeah. It's been a gift for me, I tell you. When you talk about what it does for you, and Fran mentioned the word creative, her family, her brother's so creative. I have become more creative from gardening. Colors, sizes, shapes, where to put things. One day I said to a friend of mine when I was kind of just starting out gardening, and she wanted to see what I was doing. And I said, oh, but I've just started and, this is a mess. And she looked at it and she said, this is very creative. Now, she is a very creative person. She just does all kinds of creative things. And she said, this is very creative. And I love that word because I never thought of myself that way. And now I look at something and most of it isn't my creation anymore. It's doing its own thing, right? Gardens do their own thing after they've been in a little while, they get comfy in their spot.
Well, Fran, you have potted plants that you created them, right?
Right. So I go to different stores and I take the little plants and I say, all right, let's put this color here, this here, and I put them on my deck. And I really enjoy that because I just like making them and see what happens with them. So I have some
Different colors.
different colors, different sizes.
And you walk into her house and look out on the deck and you can see all that beauty through the big sliders.
Yeah, I enjoy making them up. That's my creative part.
Yeah.
You have a water, what do you call it? Water gardens?
Rain gardens.
Oh, rain gardens.
Yes.
So what's that?
Okay, I'm going to read because this is a better description than what I could say. A rain garden is a shallow, sunken garden bed filled with native plants, not regular, native plants and grasses designed to capture and absorb storm water runoffs from the roofs, because we had a lot coming from my roof, and the driveways. It filters the pollutants from the water, reduces flooding, prevents erosion, and allows rainwater to soak into the ground instead of flowing into the storm drains and local waterways. About 10 years ago, Columbia Association had a great program where they offered rain gardens to us residents. They had to analyze how much water came off and went in driveways and whatever out to the streams. And if you qualified, these people came in. So John McCoy, remember him from Columbia Association, came in. Linda Luke came from Village Gardens in Westminster, and they planted. They dug up my front. They put in rocks. They put in native plants that theoretically the deer wouldn't eat. Most of them they didn't eat.
I think that's all fake, by the way. I think deer will eat anything.
Yeah, I know. Well, that's what I found out.
But maybe there's things that they like less. I don't know.
Yeah, that is true.
Believe it or not, that was a $3,500 garden. They let me pay $750, and then CA gave us half. They said, hey, all I paid was $350. So since we had this garden, there was stuff on my side. So I decided, let's have a second rain garden. So I have 2 rain gardens, which are just amazing. I did fence them in because the deer was coming in there. I did, but they're beautiful. And it's native plants, and native plants theoretically aren't eaten by deer. So, yeah.
So there's no more rain runoffs anymore.
Not as much as it was. Now it soaks into the stones
Yeah.
and the ground. And again, they gave me really nice dirt, very, black humus and stuff like that. It's wonderful.
That's great.
I love
That's
it.
great.
And I'll sit outside and I'll just look at the garden, watch the bees come, watch the birds come. It's very cool.
Can anyone apply for it?
It was. It's no longer.
Oh, no.
Yeah, but it was. It stopped a couple of years ago, and my neighbor did it too. So we have a couple of my neighbors did it. Yeah.
And Kathy, you have native plants,
I do.
trees.
I do.
Yeah, tell us about that.
Mhm. Well, when I became a master gardener, I learned a lot about native plants. I had heard about them and wondered what is such a big deal about native plants. Well, native plants have been in the area, and in whatever area you happen to live in, and you're looking for native plants for that area, for Florida or Alaska or Maryland, it would be all different. So those are plants that have survived over hundreds, maybe even thousands of years in this climate, in this environment, with the animals and the insects, wind and rain and all of that.
Yeah.
They've gotten accustomed to. So all of these things live together in harmony now. And so when you live in harmony, you don't usually eat the plants that are around you. Now, deer, of course, I agree with you, Mark. They're going to eat anything at this point.
I don't know. My mother, in her garden in the back, she had a kind of half rain garden, half whatever. And it didn't matter. Like, they would jump the fence and do their thing, and there was nothing stopping them.
Yeah.
But I mean, maybe I don't know. We can all have hope, right?
Well, if you have an 8-foot fence, they might not. And if like your gardens are kind of narrow in some places, and they do eye the distance they have to land, but they can jump. And the other thing that I've noticed, and this is only me, I'm not saying that this is what actually happens, but what I've noticed is I spray that really smelly deer spray.
Cougar pea.
I've used that.
It is.
I've used it. It's
Yeah.
better glove up before you
And,
go.
and they say that, you just every 6 weeks or
Yeah,
you
a
gotta
month or
change
something
it.
like that, and it can rain on it and everything. Well, I was determined with this last group of native plants that I've purchased, and they've grown now. I mean, I've got this garden of native plants. And so I just took that out there almost every night because I have woods behind me, and then a street and houses, and then woods there. It's all the Blandier Park. So there's a million deer in there, and their babies and bucks, and everybody's running around like they own the place. And so I went out like every other night and I sprayed, and I did that for like 2 summers and through the winter and everything. And now the deer come out, they look around, and they go to my neighbors and my neighbors. They're hardly ever at my house, although they are, but hardly ever.
Congratulations.
So I think maybe I just like
So
they,
what
they
is
tell
this?
each other, don't go there.
What is
I
this?
think it's called deer
Off.
Tear off or something. I can't remember exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, you just
Yeah.
go to Ace Hardware or
Yeah.
Home Depot or
Yeah.
someplace. And it has the word deer in it.
It's in the garden center. I've used it too for some stuff.
It just smells terrible.
Oh, it's horrible. It's awful. Oh,
That's
100%.
That's why I can't put it out because it's so small.
Yeah, I have to do it.
I have deer clothes.
Yeah.
that I
Put
use.
your clothes on.
Yeah.
So very fulfilling and very interesting. And you know, when Fran talked about that great soil that the county puts in the rain garden,
Yeah.
when I started that master gardener class, I think it was 2007, our first lecture topic, because it was like going to college, it was like a graduate school course. And the first topic was on soil. And they had a professor from the University of Maryland. Most of our teachers were professors, which is really cool. The first one, professor from the University of Maryland, and they're going to talk about soil and how important it was. And I was like, oh my God, let's start with something more fun than that. And now I'm all about soil too. It's really important.
pH, right? The pH
well,
of the soil.
Well, yes, that. I have a compost bin now that I put all my raw vegetables and things in there. And so I stick that in the pots when I'm planting in pots or, in the garden itself. So, so soil is really, really important.
And the soil is really, really fun just to dig in. At first you start out with your gloves. Oh, I'm not going to get dirty. Then I go, forget it. and just get into it. And you talked about all the benefits. You know, there's something about the bacteria that just makes us feel good. And if you have arthritis, you just working your hands, you know, and you're taking your water, like you said, with your watering can. But I think soil is really fun to play with. It's like Play-Doh for kids, you know. So it is.
It's a must for sure.
Absolutely, absolutely.
You have lots of statues in your garden. Tell us about
Well,
that.
those are very special because they were made by my father. So he worked, you know, at 65, he retired, and then he did every art you could possibly imagine, whether it be sculpture, I have those in the garden, whether it be stained glass, I have that in the garden. But, and I think I have like, what is it? Oh gosh, water for the birds. What do you call it? Bird bath. There you go. The bird bath is made from his hand, so I see his imprint. So I do have a lot of special sculptures that I put in, as well as my aunt was a nursery school teacher, and she has a little boy reading a book. So that's in the front of my garden as you go in. And that's what I like to do is sit outside and just look at the garden. That just like you said, it's mindful, gives you peace. Working in the garden it's a mindful type of thing. So yeah, I enjoy looking at the different sculptures, the little ducks, you know, that I have and little birds that my father made. So
Yeah, because they're living things. You watch them grow, right?
Well, the sculptures just enhance the garden for
Yeah.
me. You know, that is for me. So yes,
The memories, I imagine.
absolutely. And I think that's something good as you get older. What things can you leave to your kids? You can leave the love of gardening and actual artifacts, things that you make, and I think that's really cool. Or poems or things that you write or something like that.
Or in the pictures of your brother's art,
Absolutely.
picture art.
My brother, I took pictures of my brother's flowers and things that she did, and I put them in a video, just like I did with my garden, Kath. I took it from, you know, winter all the way through summer, and you see the growth of my garden. And of course, you know, guys, I do meditation, right? So I'm using that video in my meditation in the power of tranquility. So I just watch it and I put it to music with George Winston, and his song, of course, is called The Garden. So I'm hoping, guys, you'll include it in the podcast, because that, for me, that's what gardening is. I don't know the technical like Kathy. I'm not a master gardener, but it's a feel. And that's for me what gardening is.
I think that's true for most people.
Mhm.
Nobody needs to be a master gardener. I mean, you learn some important things, but you just need that feel and that desire and the response that you get when you're
Yeah,
in your garden or how you plan your garden.
exactly. It's a feeling for me, because I don't know the name. That's why I took the video. I don't know the names, but I can look at the pictures.
So what do
I
you
can't
do?
remember the name.
Yeah.
What do you do as a master gardener?
Well, when I
Some
was
duties
active-
you have to do it every year.
There are some duties at your choice as to how long you stay. I think I was in it for 10 years or so.
Yeah.
And then it was time for me to move on. But we all joined something, kind of like in the village of Howard. And there are committees. I was on the Baywise committee. That was the one that just excited me so much because we learned about pesticides and how much of our trash and pesticides go into the bay. And I wanted to do my part, so I don't use pesticides. Once in a great blue moon, I'll use something for poison ivy, because I get that very easily. Although there are other things you can do, you know, but once in a great while, I'll do an herbicide or pesticide for something, but very, 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 very seldom. Not even once a year. Because I am so concerned. I have bird feeders, like Fran had bird feeders. I have bird baths front and back. I observe the butterflies and the bees and all the other insects that I can't name that come to my garden. So the main thing I was on was Baywise Committee, and we would do talks. We didn't call them lectures, but we
Community centers.
community center, churches, libraries, and they're still having those. So, you know, and Robinson Nature Center has been fantastic. We have plant sales there in the spring. We do that green, what's it called, at HCC in the spring, spring green. It's April.
Fest, maybe Green Fest.
Green Fest.
Mhm.
It's like April 15th. And we have a table there. We have native plant sellers that come in that we've had for several years, so we know their work. I think I forgot what your actual question was. You
No,
got me
you already
talking.
told me what a master gardener does.
Yeah.
So how do you qualify? Do you have to take exam?
Well, first of all, we just sign up if we're accepted, which
Yeah.
pretty much everybody is.
Yeah.
Then we start taking these classes. They're usually once a week. We have a volume binder about like that, which is fantastic. And I would have brought it today, but I had lent it to somebody and I don't have it back yet. But I keep that one on hand because everything from fertilizer numbers, the numbers on the fertilizer bag, 10% this and that. And what does that mean? And you don't want to get one with the, I don't know, potassium number too high. Now,
Right, you go to county extension.
Yeah.
No, you go to county extension and figure out what your soil is, right? They'll help you do the pH and all that other stuff. My dad had a big garden when we were kids and he didn't know what to start with, and his dad said, "Oh, just go to county extension and they'll help you out." And I mean, he actually got a lot of help from. We were Baltimore County at the time, but he got a lot of help from county extension. And I don't know isn't that what it's called here in Howard County?
Absolutely,
Okay.
absolutely. And they can answer any question. As a matter of fact, this might be beside the point to you, but not to me. I discovered what looked like a bee's nest or a wasp's nest. Excuse me. It's about like this big, and it was inserted in the in 3 bushes that were only 3 feet high. And I saw that big thing, and it looked silver to me, and it looked like it was a fake piece of silver metal sitting in there. And then there were little holes, and the closer I got, then these wasp-looking things started flying out and then flying back in. And so I backed up a little bit and I observed this for a while. And there was actually a Miss Utility guy there looking at some of my property. And he came over and he's looking at this, and I wasn't afraid because they were checking me out. But it was I've never seen anything like it. This is ground level, and this thing is huge. So I went in and I called. Well, first of all, I called my son-in-law and I said, "Oh my gosh, you'll never believe this. We need to get this out right away." He thought it might be a bald hornet, bald-faced hornet.
Yeah, I think that's right.
Yeah, bald something hornet. And they don't bother you at all, unless you bother them, of course. That's why they didn't attack me. So I finally called, like, who do you call for something like this? And I called the Howard County Extension. I actually ended up doing an email. They sent me an email back with a whole big long paragraph of what it probably was. And it was that bald hornet. And said, they're harmless and they are all going to die off as soon as it gets cold. You already know this.
Because I had paper wasps in a tree and I had little children in the house. They said, just let it die.
Is that
And it was
right?
so cool when it died. The kids brought it to school. It was, but they said the same thing to me.
Oh.
Wait for the cold and they die.
Well, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I thought maybe this was a certain species.
No, paper
Yeah.
wasps I had too.
Okay.
They were going to kill
Yeah,
my
so
children.
I stood there the other day to see if they were still going to
Scary.
come out, and they did.
Yeah.
And so, but I also found a dead one on my back patio. So these cold evenings, I think, are beginning to.
It was really taking a turn.
Mhm.
Like usually we get second summer.
Oh, Maryland.
Yeah, so we have like 8 seasons here.
In one day, in 1 week.
Yeah. Oh yeah. If you don't like the weather, just wait 5 minutes.
That's
It's
what my
fine.
aunt used to say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what do you do in the winter? You rest up for next year or
It's kind
no?
of funny. Well, plan and dream and change. What can I do to change? What do I have to do to update? Because our pollinators are so darn precious to us. If we don't have bees, 84% of our food will be pollinated.
We'd have to make something if there weren't bees, right? We'd have to
Yeah.
be out there doing it.
Yeah.
Brooms or whatever. I don't know.
Yeah. They do in China, I think.
I did only part of my pots. I cleaned them out. I usually leave it until springtime and then I'll take it away. But I thought, oh, let me be good this year.
Oh,
So
you
I
put
took,
pots during
I
winter?
did, well, I did half of them because my daughter brought hers over. So I took them and I have a big trash can and I'm taking the dirt and I'm putting it in the trash can, mixing with my hands because I really love it. And now I have this much dirt in my house. But I figured, because I like to repot my plants and you want to make sure it's aerated.
Do you do it in your house or?
No, outside on the deck.
Okay.
Yeah, in this big trash can. I mean, the regular trash can. And then you can put fertilizer and stuff in it to do better. But that's what I decided to do this year. So I'm cleaning my pots.
That's a good
Well,
idea.
2 weeks from now, I'll clean the rest of them. I
Instead
hope.
of waiting until spring.
I know. Usually I'd absolutely do it in spring, but
Now,
I'm trying to be good now.
most people that I'm in contact with on by way of computer are planting their seeds already. Planning, not planting. They're planning.
Yeah.
Who should I buy? As a matter of fact, there were like 6 emails the other day from. I'm a master gardener emeritus now.
Oh,
So I
emeritus.
get the information. I just don't have to do the work anymore. I'm retired from that. And all these emails are going through. Which company should I buy my seeds from this year? They're already planning. Burpee or this company or that company, and I want to plant this. And I thought, wow, they've already started all of that. Yeah, so it is a planning time.
Well, I did. My grandson last week came and I had some bulbs and my daughter was there. And I said, okay, we're all going to plant them. Allium, that's big
Oh,
purple
yeah.
things. Because I had some in one part of my rain garden and the deer don't eat them. Okay,
Nice.
and then we put them on the other
Good to
side.
know.
And he goes, I said, it'll come up in spring. He goes, oh, he's 4. That's a long time. I said, yes, but we'll see. And we'll see. But, that's the only bulbs I've planted. So I'm very excited about that.
Yeah.
Of course, you have to know about Cathy too. Cathy years ago got us involved with ostrich fern.
Oh,
A friend of hers, a doctor friend, said, if you give me a pot, I'll give you a plant. So I think we gave her about 10 pots and she gave us back these plants wrapped in paper and soil, and we put them in our gardens. Now, Cathy and I have thousands of ostrich fern. Who knew that they would multiply? And all my neighbors, I gave them some. So just if you go in Dorsey Hall, you'll see lots of ostrich fern. This is your fault, Cathy.
We've given them to everybody we know.
Absolutely.
I still have it.
Even my cousin in New Jersey. Take them. They come out like weeds in the rain. Like today, they will come out like weeds, and you don't even have to wrap them in soil or
We did
anything.
all that. Protected them. Yeah, our car trunk was full.
Yes, yeah. So just FYI, little things you didn't know
Extra
about.
fun in gardening.
Oh yeah, we do have fun. We do. I have to talk to that lady though.
Yeah.
So anything else you'd like to mention?
Just that I think gardening for me is a peace type of thing, and that's why I really, really like it, and like to share with others. And now I'm trying to share it with my kids and grandchildren, that they have the love of it and pass it on.
Yeah, I think for me, it's just nature. It's just watching nature and how nature intertwines with everything about nature is connected to everything else about nature and trees and plants and insects, good or bad. They all need the food. They need each other. We're all in with and with us humans. We're all here.
We are all connected. Everything's connected.
Thank you. I was trying to find the right
Yes.
words. Yeah, that's beautiful.
Well,
Thank you.
thank you very much.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate your time.
Yes.
Thanks for coming with us.
Oh, by the way, there's a video of a tour of your gardens. So it will be a separate video, and we will give.
Yeah, we'll link up top on this video of the tours.
Right.
Yeah.
So the listeners and viewers will have a chance to see your gardens and all the plants.
Okay.
Thank you very much for
Thanks.
coming.
Thank you. Thank you, Joy and Mark.